Climbing fails! Hey everybody, welcome back to YouTube's Fair Ground Climbing channel. So today, climbing fails. We're going to try to learn from these guys' mistakes, these people's mistakes, and see if we can learn from them so we don't make our own. So this should be interesting. Let's hop right into it. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, so this first clip was sent in from a fellow subscriber, and they want me to give an analysis on it. So let's just play it, and I'll try to talk through it while it's playing. So supposedly this is first 5-9, and you can kind of tell that this climb is pretty juggy, so it doesn't look too hard of a climb, but you can tell by his breathing that he sounds like he's a little bit out of his element here. Those are pretty big jugs, and he's got to clip that right there.
Oh,
Okay, so he actually really messed up his back. He like compressed some discs or whatever. So what's the story with this one? What you have to realize is some climbs that may be rated easier, and they could be, you know, they could be ledgy. So some climbs, even though they're easier, you have to worry more than hitting the ground. You have to worry about hitting the next ledge that's right underneath you, because like some 5-3s could just be ledge after ledge after ledge, and then you can just fall down and hit the ledge. So you have to worry about that. It looks like he may have hit a ledge or something there. And so like, what can you say that he did wrong? I can't say the Belayer did anything wrong there. I would have to say more it kind of was the climber's fault, because he didn't, if you rewind the tape a little bit, he didn't just fall off, he jumped off. So right here, instead of yelling falling, he curses. So if you're gonna fall off, you could just yell falling and then jump off. It's unfortunate that he fell right into his back, but what he should have done is he should have, instead of expending his energy to go up and try to race up the climb, work out the moves and down climb and then climb up and down climb and climb up. Get your skill up to that level first. So maybe he's climbing a bit over his limit. He should have probably down climbed instead of just throwing himself off. It's one thing when you slip off, it's another thing when you have enough energy where you can still just kind of throw yourself off. I don't know if he was pumped to the point where he had to throw himself off the climb. I think what I have to say about this one is he could have just down climbed a bit and then maybe tried to have a more controlled fall. It's unfortunate. Sometimes, you know, you just get really unlucky, and I think that's another thing, is just he got pretty unlucky here. But down climbing would have definitely prevented something and been a bit safer, and maybe climbing something, you know, more in his range of his climbing limit. All right, next clip. Okay, so our next clip was also sent from another fellow subscriber who caught me at the rock gym and said, hey, I'm gonna send you a fail that I had. Okay, so we're not gonna go too hard on Dennis here, because I ain't trying to get my ass beat. So let's analyze this one and see what we could say about it. Okay, his Belayer here has pulled out a whole bunch of slack. He doesn't really have his hand in a position. The Belayer doesn't have his hand in a position where he could pull in slack. Let's pause it right here. You can see where his hand is currently. He couldn't pull slack in. He's got like two or 3 feet of slack. So he's more anticipating pulling. He's more anticipating giving you slack than taking in slack. Okay, it's time for you to make the clip. He pulled it. He pulled all that slack in real quick. Gave it all to you. Oh man, you took the fall and just touched your feet on the floor. So basically, I would say what happened here is your Belayer didn't have the reactions of a bobcat. Your Belayer, as soon as you missed that clip and your foot popped off, it looked like the Belayer had maybe like a split second, maybe a whole second to realize that you're not making the clip, and then pull your slack in, and then maybe he could jump down a little bit, try to suck up all that slack and keep you farther away from the ground. So that's all I can really say about that one. Besides that, you're not wearing a helmet, but I won't go too hard on you. Not everyone could be perfect. I mean, at one time I was even addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. That's what it's all about. So, next clip. Even if your rope isn't behind your foot, you could take some crazy weird falls. Here's an example right here.
You good? Yes. You all right?
You good? Yes. You all right? Yes. As the guy turns into like an attack helicopter. Well, you see there, let's rewatch that a little bit. You can see there that the rope's not even behind his foot. He just gets too top heavy and just does a weird whip.
You good? Yes.
I see this happen sometimes when people like, it seems like he's barn dooring out and then he's facing away from the cliff. And then he has this very strange whipping around fall. One whip like that into the rock with your head and it's lights out. Here I found another example of that same thing. Let's take a look. So we don't have the usual rope underneath the foot that's causing this turning upside down, but more of like his foot slipping and then his weight is over his harness and then he's coming upside down. This is why it's pretty important to have a helmet on so you don't smack something. If you're going to be anticipating something like some weird falls, sometimes you can't anticipate weird falls, so it's probably better just to wear some cool helmet that you like to wear. Sometimes there are some times where you can't wear a helmet, like you're doing a chimney squeeze where your head's just not going to fit with your helmet on. You have to take your helmet off, put it to the side, things like that. That's why climbing can be it can be pretty dangerous. You can't prevent everything. It's kind of like, you know, there's some things in climbing you just can't prevent, like rockfall and stuff. Let me show you some rockfall. This gets us into a pretty cool topic called trundling, which is kind of, it could be a pretty controversial subject about getting rocks off cliffs, moving it, when not to move rocks, when to leave rocks. Some places, you don't touch the rocks. They're sacred. You don't move. If they're there, they're there. Don't touch them. Other places, you can take them off. So let's just watch some trundling videos. See here, this guy's got like a loose flake, which is really loose. All you need to use is his fingers to knock it off. So that was pretty close to his equipment there. Sometimes rocks could do very weird things. They could slap a ledge under there, break, and then spread. And then, you know, if your belayer's way over here, it can end up hitting your belayer. If you can, it's better to get everything above the rock before you try to throw something off. Or it's better if it's small enough, you could take it and you could chuck it, you know, and make sure you get it away from everybody. Because sometimes rocks could do very weird things. Now, the topic is when to trundle, when to clean. I think if you don't have to use crowbars and tools, and it's just gonna fall off and it's gonna kill somebody, it's probably safer just to get it off. That doesn't mean I go to the cliff and with a broom and a shovel and I start cleaning the tops of cliffs. But I mean, if it could potentially kill my belayer, I get the rock out the way. So that's my opinion. Okay, so here's an example. Now, there's some big rocks there.
You're gonna lighten the load off the mountain.
Now, some people would say that those rocks have been there forever. Don't touch them, leave them alone.
Like a minute left.
But they're pretty loose.
The big one will go.
And you see the...
Oh, God. Ready? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That stuff will humble you. You can see, like, the lead climber, you have to realize the lead climber is above this belayer, above this guy who's this second that's coming up. So just the wrong nudge from the leader on that rock could have cut that whole thing loose and taken this second guy out. So you really have to be careful of if you're leading, that you're not going to be knocking something loose onto your belayer, or there's people there at the bottom of the cliff, you don't hit them with some rockfall. Rockfall is crazy. It's one of the things in climbing that you just, you know, could just take you out. All right, so that's some pretty sombering stuff. Let's see if we can lighten the mood a little bit. Okay, we have some at-home climbing fails here. I think this climbing fail, this particular type of fail, has been foretold in my other episodes. Yeah, you want to be kind of careful using exercise bands. Okay, everyone's been sending me this clip telling me that there's been new speed records on El Cap. So let's see what the heck this is about. This looks like a weird... This is El Capital. Oh my goodness. He probably walked it right off. Man, I don't know what the heck they... I say this in all my climbing fails episodes. Watch your landing zone. See where you're gonna fall, because that's where you're gonna end up. If you fall, that's where you're gonna land. This guy has some kind of contraption under his climb. So be more careful. A lot of first ascents going on that day. They're even added here to Mountain Project. Wow. Well, that's about all the time I got this week. Time for me to go hang out on my hangboard. If you guys want to hang out some more, check out the Discord, my Instagram, all that stuff, all the good stuff down in the description below. Leave your comments what you think. If I missed anything, leave it down there. And Josh Perry, climbing out of here. See you guys next week. Pick up some merch.